Even though it had been over a year since Erica stepped inside the building, whatever is within the museum remembered and laid claim to her with scratch. Hundreds of people reported medical concerns up to and including a heart attack just from viewing her image in a photo or video.
I've been scratched, had my hair pulled, I've been standing in front of that door.
Scary story time. I've seen a lot of posts where a lot of people have been talking about going to the Zach Bagans haunted experience in Las Vegas. And if you are planning on going anytime soon, just a little heads up for those who really would like to go. I don't know if I posted this before in a previous video, but if I did, I'll probably do it again. So my experience when I first went, it was really interesting. It's just something really off about the place itself. Before I even went, I was with my partner, and I felt really really weird. I felt like I was thrown off, and I told him that there's a couple of people that died in this house. Like something really strange has been going on, and I was really excited, really pumped, and are greeted with the Haunted Mansion kind of theme song in the beginning, and then you listen to Zach Bagan's intro when you're there. And I remember going around, I want to say July when this happened. It was like hot as shit in Vegas, and of course we went in before our tour began, and we were in this room, and it had like a whole bunch of like things, and I was like really interested. I really don't care for Zach Bagans just because everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and my opinions about him is just who cares what I think. So I just honestly don't care for him. So there's like a lot of things that was going on. I know there was one specific area where they said like, I think we got the VIP experience. So there was one area that we were able to go into versus the others, and it said like there was like a haunted collection of dolls or whatever. There was one specific doll that was in the corner, and I kept seeing a little girl just sitting there. I knew the doll that was sitting there it was just a prop. It wasn't basically a haunted doll. It was just like a little girl, I want to say dressed in like the 1920s, baby doll socks, baby doll hair, and she was just sitting in the corner where the doll was. And I kept looking at it. I asked my partner, I said, hey, did you see a little girl there? And he's like, what little girl? So somebody overheard me and say, what little girl are you talking about? I was like, there's a little girl sitting behind that damn doll right there, and the doll's about like the same height as her. And the tour guide is talking about like the about the hauntings and stuff, but she was even thrown off too, because when I looked at her, she kept looking in the corner, and I'm like, there's something that that you're not telling us. And she said something about like the dolls, but nothing about that doll in the corner. And it was like in the darkest part in that corner, and I'm like, oh, there's a little girl here, that's really weird. So of course I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to look crazy. So we're exploring the inside of the mansion itself, and so I'm just going based off of memories. So we're walking around the house, we're being introduced to certain areas. So if you do the VIP experience, you get to do a little bit more. It's just like extended things. So they made you crawl through like a little space to see the puppet room, and then you get to go in a little bit ahead of everybody else, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it's just you're there for the experience. So the whole entire time we're on this tour, I kept seeing two little kids running throughout the house, and these little kids were just running around. And I asked the tour guide, I said, hey, are those kids allowed to be walking around? And the tour guide goes, what are you talking about? And I was like, the little boy and little girl. And as soon as the moment I said that, another person from another group says, you see them too? And I'm like, okay, I am not the only one tripping. Like, there's a little boy and little girl here, but they're not from this timeline. They're like from, I want to say like the 1900s. This is really, really weird. So I'm like, okay, because I'm going in this like as a skeptic. I'm not looking at it through it like a spiritual sense. So we go upstairs, and there's like a room like where like there's a haunted doll, and then there's like the Dibbit box. The Dibbit box room, I didn't really feel anything negative. I just felt like, again, that was like a prop. Everything was just for show. I didn't really feel anything kind of negative. So to each of their own experience. So the room with the little doll, right? Everybody's like there, everybody gets to take a peek, talk to Sally, I believe her name was. And I blink out and I start falling, like I just start walking around, and the tour guide's like, where are you going? And I'm like, just dozed off, like I don't even know what's happening. And I'm going around this pillar because it's a two-story mansion or three-story mansion, and right in the middle it's like you're able to look down to where the grand staircase was at. So I was walking around this pillar in a circle, and I kept following this little kid. I see a little kid running from the peripheral of my vision, and I keep seeing them as soon as they turn. So I'm following this kid, and I keep hearing behind me, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" And then next thing you know, I snap out of it, and the tour guide's like, "Where do you think you're going?" And I was like, "The little kid. There's a little kid running around here." And I was like, "It's a little boy, and he's playing hide and seek with me." And she's like, "There's nobody there." And I'm looking at her, I'm like, "Girl, you are pissing me off. Like, there is somebody here." And she's like, "No, there's nobody here." I'm like, "You don't understand. There's a little kid fucking running around here. Like, do not tell me that there's nobody there." But then, I had to keep calm and collective because I don't want to get kicked out or whatnot. So my partner goes, "You need to just stay put." And I was like, "I cannot. Like, I feel like there's some type of energy." So they took us a tour to the clown room, which was next, and they said this is where all like the haunted objects were at. I honestly thought it was really cool just to be in the clown room. I think that's for the VIP experience only, if I'm not mistaken. And so they had a room full of clowns, and my partner was just running his ass off because he was scared as shit. But I love clowns, so I was just looking at the little trinkets, the little statues and whatnot. So there's a part of the tour where you're able to go downstairs, and there's supposedly like this like box, right, like, where you can hear white noise, and so you were able to go 2 at a time. And I think the fun fact was that Pamela Anderson and her brother used to live in that house, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, I'm going based off of memory, so for those who are watching, if you want to correct me in the comments, go ahead and do so. Like I said, I'm going based off of memory, so don't get upset. And so we go 2 at a time downstairs in the basement, which was part of the experience. And there's a box sitting there, and it's just white noise, and I hear somebody say, "Help me." But I told my partner at the time, I was like, "That's not a regular spirit." I was like, "There's something really dark and negative here. Like, it's just very heavy, very not welcoming." And I see, like, it looked like a person just sitting in the corner, and I'm like, "Okay, look, I told you there's something wrong." And at the moment I look up, I was like, "There's something up on the ceiling." I was like, "I've been telling you." I was like, some insidious type of shit. And I was like, "This is not a welcoming spirit. This spirit is like, this energy does not want us here." I was like, "Let's go," because all I heard as we walked out was, "Get out." So we went up the stairs. I was like already confused. I was like, I didn't feel comfortable going down there anyways, but since we had the VIP experience, I was like, let me just go down there anyways. It's just something about the downstairs basement was just really unnerving, and just whatever. And there's a part in the part of the room and during the tour where you get to see a mirror, and I guess there's things coming out of it, but that specific room made me want to throw up. Like, there's certain areas in the museum itself where it doesn't feel comfortable. And with the one with the mirrors, if you guys ever been in that room, they like something travels through the mirrors, they have it covered and you're able to see through it. Something told me no, just the room itself just feels really, really nerve-wracking, and something just didn't sit right with me. Like, it wasn't in the mirror itself, it was just in the room. I guess, I don't know if it was because of the persons that were on tour with us, they just had really bad vibes. I could have just been picking up from them, but there was just something lingering in that room. So hit that like button for part 2.